Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something almost all of us carry in our pockets. We're going to look at how credit cards are mathematically and psychologically engineered to work against you. We're going to break down the hard numbers, the biological tricks, and that sneaky fine print that catches so many people totally off guard. All right, let's dive right in. Okay, before we get into the really brutal math, we actually have to completely redefine what this little piece of plastic is. We're so conditioned to view our credit cards as these magic keys to unlocking rewards. We see them as cashback generators or sometimes even just free money. But we really need to erase that mindset right now. A credit card is simply a short-term loan. That's literally it. It's just money a bank is letting you borrow with the incredibly strict expectation that you pay it back within a very specific window. So if it's really just a loan, why do they make it look so appealing? It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? I mean, free airport lounge access, massive sign-up cash bonuses, free subscriptions to your favorite streaming apps. What's the real motive behind all these super generous perks? Well, spoiler alert, that free airport lounge sandwich? Yeah, it isn't actually free. Banks absolutely are not charities. They're using these incentives to acquire you as a customer. But to understand why they want you so badly, we need to look at how they actually make their money. Which brings us to Section 1, the engine, how banks really profit. You see, banks are making money at literally every single step of the process. First up, there's the merchant discount rate, or MDR. Basically, every time you swipe your card, the merchant pays a small fee to the bank. That's completely invisible to you, but it's massive for them, and honestly, it often just gets baked right into retail prices anyway. Then come the direct hits to your own wallet. You've got your late payment fees if you miss a deadline, random processing fees, super heavy cash advance fees if you ever make the mistake of using your credit card at an ATM, and finally, the really big one, finance charges. Let's move on to Section 2, the trap, the brutal math. So generally, banks offer you this sweet 15 to 45-day interest-free period. And hey, that sounds great. But listen, if you don't understand how your statement date and your due date actually align, you are walking entirely blind into a minefield. Let's just walk through a quick example. Imagine you buy a brand new TV on March 1st. Your statement generates on April 1st, and your payment is due on April 20th. That gives you 51 solid days of breathing room. But if you take out a cash advance on March 29th, that interest starts ticking immediately, and you've got to settle that along with your regular purchases. The timing really dictates everything here. Now, when that April 1st statement finally arrives, the bank gives you a choice. Let's say you spent $17,000 on that new TV and maybe some everyday items. You'll see your total amount due staring right back at you. But right next to it, usually prominently displayed, is the minimum amount due. This is typically just 5% of your total, so around $850 in this specific case. The statement presents this as an equally valid choice, almost like they're doing you a massive favor. But make no mistake, this 5% minimum is a mathematical illusion deliberately designed to keep you locked in a cycle of debt. And the danger of that illusion is incredibly real. A staggering 85% of people fall for the minimum due trap. Think about it. When given the option to part with $17,000 or just $850 today, human nature just sort of takes over. People pay the minimum, thinking, hey, I'm in good standing with the bank. But by doing so, they have literally just activated the trap. The absolute crucial point here is that finance charge we talked about earlier. The very second you decide to pay only the minimum and roll over the rest of your balance, you are hit with massive interest. And we aren't talking about a standard 8% car loan or even a 10% personal loan. You're looking at a punishing annualized interest rate of up to 48%. And here is the absolute kicker. It is calculated daily. That interest compounds incredibly fast, easily turning last month's small splurge into next year's absolute financial crisis. Oh, and you don't even have to fall back to the minimum payment to get punished. Have you ever heard of the 1 rupee rule? This is wild. The moment there is a mismatch of even 1 single rupee on your total amount due, your entire interest-free grace period is completely erased. Seriously, if your bill is $17,000 and you accidentally pay $16,999, the bank doesn't just charge you interest on that 1 missing rupee. No way. They retroactively charge you interest on the entire $17,000, calculating all the way back from the original transaction dates. Okay, let's switch gears a bit for Section 3, the psychology, your brand on rewards. Look, if you constantly find yourself overspending on your card, you really should know that it's not entirely your fault. The whole system is biologically engineered to exploit your mind. Scientific reports actually show that the velocity of reward points, cash bonuses, and all those shiny incentives offered by credit card companies literally mute your brain's pain receptors. Normally, physically handing over a crisp $100 bill hurts a little bit, right? That's your brain naturally regulating your spending. But credit cards, armed with all these gamified rewards, silence that alarm bell completely. It makes it way too easy to spend money you just don't have. But there is good news. Let's get into section 4, the escape, beating the system. If you want to actually use the bank's money to your advantage, you have to follow 3 rules religiously. Step 1, treat it strictly like a debit card. If you don't have the cash sitting in your checking account today, do not swipe. Step 2, never, ever miss paying the total amount due. Just pretend the minimum payment doesn't even exist. And step 3, keep your credit statement utilization under 30% of your total limit. Doing this keeps your credit score super healthy and ensures you are never biting off more than you can chew. If you follow these 3 steps, you win the game. But you also need to stay super vigilant about merchant offers, because even the famous no-cost EMI is basically a complete mirage. Let's say you see a phone with a sticker price of $79,900, advertised as a no-cost equated monthly installment. Sounds like zero interest, right? But once you factor in the hidden processing fees and the taxes quietly tucked away into the transaction, your actual final cost inflates to $82,489. You are always paying for the privilege of borrowing. So the ultimate cheat code to navigating this whole shebang is buried right in front of you, in the fine print. You absolutely must read the MITC before signing up for any card. That's the most important terms and conditions document. It outlines the exact interest rates, the late fees, and the specific rules regarding your grace period. The next time you're handed a glossy, fancy pamphlet for a new card, just ignore the pamphlet. Ask for the MITC. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, from those brutal 48% interest rates to the crazy 1 rupee rule, all the way to the psychological trickery of reward points. The system is incredibly complex and perfectly, beautifully designed to make the bank money. So, as you look at your very next monthly statement, you really have to ask yourself, are you using the card to build your own wealth and convenience, or is the card using you?